Nobody talks about what mediumship development actually looks like from the inside. This series does. Every 5 readings, I'll break down what shifted, what grew, and what I'm still working through. Today, you'll see that process in action.
Well, actually, when I was meditating before our session, I just want to throw this out here because it's like two things that like kind of came up for me. Mainly the one thing was really random, but I saw a fish. It almost looked like a drawing of a fish. So this could possibly be like someone with a fish tattoo. Um, Possibly they enjoyed fishing as a hobby. But the way that I was kind of viewing it, it reminded me of this book that I had as a kid, and I believe it was called like Rainbow Fish or something, and it was like this angelfish, and it had these like sparkly scales on it. It was a children's book, so I'm not
I've seen
sure if that
it.
makes sense for someone in spirit for you. Um, or I could have been picking it up psychically as well. But I
I
just
was
wanted to leave
shown
you with
some
you.
fish,
Oh,
cartoon drawings of fish about an hour before this reading.
oh, really? Okay. All right. That might have been what I was picking up on because I was just like, fish. I was like, that's random. And I had to ask myself, I was like, did that come to me or did I think
Also,
of
they
that?
they are constantly reminding me of routine things, including reading to my daughter.
Yes.
So I'm going to take it as that because I don't do enough of that and I need to do more of it. So
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting how I saw the fish and I talked about the book and you related it to that. That's really cool. All right. So let me go ahead. I'm going to expand my energy out. I'm going to see who comes through for you. And then I'll just start sharing information. Okay. So I do feel that I have a male presence that's stepping forward. I when they showed me when they stepped forward, first they were like really tall, but then they like kind of shrunk down. Like I do this like spotlight technique where I tell spirit, like, someone that you'd be familiar with to step into the spotlight. And when they did that, it's like they were almost like they looked really tall. And then when they stepped into the spotlight, they were a lot smaller. Now, I feel like what this is referring to is that maybe the personality didn't necessarily like match the person, if you know what I mean. Like this could be someone who, um, maybe they seem like introverted, they seem like they don't go out much, but then their actual personality, like once you get to know them, is like very extroverted. So I'm getting kind of like that energy. And let me go ahead and see what else we can get through so we can identify who this is. So I feel like this individual, they would have lived well into like I call it the late years. So I want to say around their 80s or something that they at least lived to. And again, it's a male presence. Would you be understanding that from those three things briefly? And I will give more evidence then so we can really pinpoint, but
maybe.
okay. So I feel like this individual wore glasses, and the significance about these glasses is that I feel like someone in the family still has them as like memory. It's like something that it's like this emotional tether that you didn't want to let go. So it's like they're still with someone. Um, I feel like this individual was very much the family person. I feel almost that how many kids was it? So when I ask about like children here, they're showing me the number 4. Would you be able to understand a male figure?
I can take that.
Um, will you take that? Okay. 4, I'm getting 4 children. And they're giving me a little bit of confusion because even though I feel like this person was more like family oriented, I have this sense that like they could have been a little bit more involved. Um, I feel like this is coming from like the earlier years for this individual.
Yes.
Would you understand this as being a grandfather?
It's my Scottish grandfather, and I only met him
Okay.
once, and I don't even remember meeting him.
Oh,
But he
really?
comes up, he comes, and he's come to me personally as well. And he
Okay.
said some really nice things through mediums.
Yeah. All right. Well, since you don't have too much, you only met him like one time, I want to just go straight to the message to see why he came forward today. And then we'll try to bring through someone that you may be a little bit more familiar with so we can have more validations. But let's see why he came through. So he's showing me keys. It's like on a, I don't know what they, I can't remember, I can't think of the name that they call them, but it's like a little circle, it's not a keychain, but like there's all these like little keys that are on here. And I feel like that's symbolic in a way. I don't feel like they're talking about something that they actually had. Um, what do the keys mean? Would you understand right now within your life? Because I feel like this might be the message that he's pointing through is you having many choices or there being like many opportunities or many like doorways that you could possibly go through. Now, I feel like this isn't something small. I feel like this may be something significant. So this is like a significant like life change in like a direction. Um,
Yes.
would you be looking for another job?
Yes.
Okay. Because I feel like that's what these keys, it's like all these avenues that you can go through. Let's see what else is with this message. I feel like there's a little bit more here. So with this, I feel like you don't have all these options right now per se, but you're thinking about all the different options.
It's a nightmare. I'm very blocked with it. I have all
Yeah.
sorts of options hypothetically that feel as if they don't really exist, but even if they do, I can't reach them. That's how it feels to me.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I'm gonna see what.
So there's kind of three things immediately, and three is quite too many for me to deal with anyway, really. But yeah, three things I
Yeah.
could do right now, probably, but I can't get to them. People are cluttering my life with nonsense.
Yeah. No, I completely
But it's
understand
really
that
important.
too.
I am overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I feel overwhelmed. And there's a whole load of and there's some big choices that have way too many moving parts.
And it does get very overwhelming, especially when you have other aspects and things happening throughout your life too. What I feel like, so I doodle a lot when I'm connecting with spirit. And while I was getting that information about the finding a new career, he had me draw a book. So I feel like that may be significant. I'm not sure exactly like what you do right now, but this makes me feel like this has something to do. I'm not sure if it's with education or even maybe quite literally like a library or something, but I feel like it may have something to do with that. I feel like this will be like something in the future to fall together, but I feel like for some reason book feels significant as a symbol here. But the guidance that I feel like he wants to give is that, like, of course, like, it is overwhelming when you have all these things in front of you, but it's about, like, getting back to the present moment, taking that deep breath in and saying, okay, like, these are my options. I feel like there's also this level of, like, you asking yourself, of, like, what do you truly want to do? And it might not come up immediately. So there's maybe something that you might have to meditate on. But I feel like as time goes, they're also showing me it's like knots like in hair almost, and this makes me feel like it's like you're basically like combing through the knots as you go and stuff, and then eventually things will start to get easier, and I feel like that's when you're going to start getting more clarity. But I feel like there's going to be an opportunity that has something to do with possibly like a school or education or like I said, quite literally like a bookstore or something like that. But I feel like you'll find the way. But it's just about getting into that present moment and not putting your energy too far out into all the other things that are going on. I mean, of course, they deserve your attention, but it's about like taking time to reflect back in. with you when you have moments to yourself. Um, let's go ahead and reconnect. I want to see if there is anybody else that comes forward for you. But does that message resonate with you?
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity that I feel most motivated by is, and I've been invited by
Oh,
a very old colleague to do that for quite a prestigious organization, but for no money whatsoever, hardly any money at all.
yeah.
And but I wanted to feedback something to you about your reading, or shall I do that later?
Well, let's have some time in the at the end. You can go ahead and give me
Okay.
some feedback. I want to see if I can bring through another person in spirit. I'm gonna try. You said your grandmother earlier. So
Yeah.
were you close with her?
More so, I'm very estranged from almost my entire family, really. But more,
Okay.
I had more of a emotional connection with my grandmother than probably anyone else in spirit, I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll try to go ahead and connect with her and see if she comes through because I feel like there'll be some more evidence you'll definitely be able to validate here. Um, and then we'll see what messages that she has too. I always like bringing in two spirits. Would this, would you understand this being the grandmother on your mom's side?
Yes.
Okay. So I get like this overwhelming feeling of love when it comes to her. Um, and I feel like this is like really referring to like there's a lot of love in her heart that she wanted to give. She wouldn't be connected to, I know the grandfather figure that we connected to, he gave me the number 4 for children. This wouldn't be his wife, would it? Because she's also showing me the number 4.
Oh, that's interesting. But no.
It's not. Okay.
Well, I wonder what she means by four, though,
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm gonna
I
go a
get a
little
lot
bit
of
deeper with
fours
that.
in spirit for different reasons, but not. I
Okay.
wouldn't have expected them from my grandmother unless you can give me more detail about it.
Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely try to get more detail about the number 4. So when I asked her about the number 4, what does that mean? She's starting to show me like a wristwatch, like a clock. I can't say that I'm 100% certain, to be honest. If I don't know why my computer does that. It's like
Don't
it's
know.
reacting on its own. I'm not even touching it. How do I
Was
get
doing that with me a minute ago. It's fine. I'm
so
not easily distracted.
I was like, what is that? Um, I and there it goes again. It like did another
AI.
thing.
Not
That's
what
what
we
I'm
need.
gonna blame it on. I'm like, that's strange. Um, okay, the number 4. So she showed me, let me go back a little bit. She showed me a watch, like a wristwatch or something. But I don't necessarily feel like, okay, the number 4, I don't think it's relating to children or people. I feel like this is relating to the month of April.
Ooh.
Um, or I'm trying to see if she's talking about time or something else. This is something, it's like not, I don't think it's like a physical thing. Um, would you understand the month of April having significance to her?
Uh, I don't know enough about my grandma to say. I have some various assumptions about what she might be trying to convey to me, but that might just be what I'm assuming.
Okay. And I feel like you always know the answers. I'm just here trying to interpret what she's trying to say. So I can dig a little bit deeper. And then if it resonates, then we can definitely, confirm that. But she is kind of moving my attention. I tend to look at my little scribbles and stuff that I do a lot. So in here, it looks like, so I have this W that I kind of doodled out, but then that looks like I can't tell if that's I want to say a Z, but it could have been a J. I just did it the opposite. The top's longer here, like don't mind the 4. I just wrote that down, but it looks like the top and then it curves to like a hook right there, but Would you understand there being significance with a name starting with a W?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, that's okay. All right, 'cause that might be something else. I'll just keep that on the side here and we'll just keep moving forward to see what else she can bring through. So I feel I'm also getting the sense with this grandmother that I feel like she dressed very casually though, but like whenever it had to come to like, going out or like, and it doesn't even have to be for a special occasion. Like I feel like she's like the type of person that would like dress up, um, even slightly, just like elevate her look before she would like step out. And I'm getting this like sense that she had that confidence. She liked to look good and she liked to, present herself well. I think that appearances was very important to her. And even though when I go back to like having that like heart almost like filled with love, though, I also am getting this sense that there was like this sternness. This could have been with her own children because I feel like with grandchildren, she treated them differently. Not in a bad way, but it's like I don't know. It's like bringing to mind like my own like kind of memories. It's where like, parents can be like a little bit more like rough with the kids, not rough, but like more strict with the kids. But when it comes to them having their grandkids, they're like, okay, like let's spoil you, let's give you everything. And I don't feel like she was necessarily like the spoiling type though, but I do sense that there was a difference in personality here. Um, would you understand that?
Uh, yeah, I think so.
Okay. She's showing me almost like I feel like as she got older, she's showing me like the back. Did she, would you understand her having like a hunch here? 'Cause I feel like the back of her is a little bit more like rounded.
I think she might be talking about me, actually.
Oh,
I've got,
okay.
I've started to get a problem with that, and it's bothering me.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
'cause
recall my grandmother having that particularly. But Spirit have
okay.
been on about me for ages about it before I
Yeah.
really. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, I really need to do something about it.
I know. Posture is it's something that I need to work on too. Um, that's something that I feel like she's like connecting together here on talking about back problems. Let me see if she'll focus more about her. So, okay, this is a really quick flash, so I'm not 100% sure, but she showed me it looked like I want to say it was like a brooch or something, but it was like circular and it almost looked, let me kind of, I'll draw it on my paper. I'll doodle it out. So it kind of reminded me of like a shell almost. And I feel like it was, I don't think it was silver. I think it was gold. And she's showing me it's like these little, I'm a terrible drawer, so don't mind this. But it kind of reminds me, hopefully you can see that. I know it blurs it out, but it's like I think it might have been a brooch. It could have been an earring. But she showed it to me really fast, but it almost kind of had this like swirly, like shell shape. And I think that it may have been gold, and there's like these like little pearls and like little diamond like accents on it. Would you understand that?
Not as a brooch.
Not as a brooch? Okay. But you do understand that piece that I'm bringing up.
I've received some jewelry with
Oh,
gems on their rings. Um,
okay.
I don't know who they belong to or what to do with them. Um,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, but it's as part of an inheritance.
All right. Yeah, because she showed me that piece. To me, again, it looked like I thought it was a brooch or something because it was just like one piece. It could be, she could just be showing me the shape of it. But she showed me that. And let's see what else. She didn't share any memories. I feel like the memories that you share with her, a lot of it was indoors, like inside her home. Or even possibly like her visiting and stuff like that. But it's like I don't feel like she was like necessarily the one to like go out and like, do trips and stuff. She was very much like the homebody
Yes.
personality. I'm also sensing like these hard candies and stuff. So I'm not sure if there is a possibility. Usually when I see this is for diabetes, um, because of the sugar drops and stuff. So it's like eating these like hard candies. Um,
Yeah, she got diabetes. And also they were always into sweets and sugary things and feeding us sweets and sugary things. It was like a standard treat
yeah,
in back in the day, and now we're a bit more conscious that you know,
yes.
it's a different significance.
And she's showing me now here's this it's a little fuzzy because it's the bird that I know, so I don't know if it possibly shows up different for you, but a blue jay. So she's showing me a blue jay. And I feel like this is that she connects with you still, but it's through like animals and stuff, like these like strange little synchronistic things with animals. But she's specifically showing me a blue jay, or it could just be a blue bird. Would you understand the blue bird or blue jay reference?
I can do, yeah. The spirit made me lie down in a beautiful park a couple of days ago, and I was listening to the birds, and I looked up, and there was a little blue tit in the tree.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because she's bringing up the bluebird. And I feel like that is, again, like how she comes and she does her random visitations. So there's definitely this connection with nature with her. Um, and she's giving me chills. So I feel like that's really heavy when it comes to signs and stuff. It doesn't always have to be a bluebird. But the way that she's bringing this up is like, you're definitely going to know because it's just going to be at those like random times where it's like, right place, right time, and like this just a strange synchronicity, like or strange animal behavior just happens. Um, it's almost reminding me of like, like when you're driving and like this happened to me before when I was driving and I was at this point in my life, I had like a little bit of like, I was down in the dumps because of like things happening in my life. And I was driving and I had these two cardinals like go right in front of my car, like right in front of my windshield to the point it scared me. It startled me. I thought that I could have like hit these birds, but it came in with pairs. And then when I got to my location, which was the lake, I just felt like this overwhelming sense of peace and happiness and connectedness because I felt like my grandfather at the time, I felt like he was with me. And I feel like that's like a sense that I feel like I'm sharing the story because it may be something that you're going to be able to relate with is this connectedness when it comes to nature and the connectedness that also this grandmother figure shares with nature and gives you signs as well to let you know that she's there, she's still with you. So what I'm asking her a little bit when it comes to, like what happened to her, like, um she's giving me attention to her head. Um would you understand her passing being related to something with the head?
If it's my maternal grandmother, I'm afraid I don't know exactly how she passed. I was quite
Okay.
being kept at arm's length by the family at that time.
Okay. Because I'll share what she's giving me. I won't cut it off there, but it's like this kind of this, not dizziness. Usually when it's like dementia or Alzheimer's, it's like a dizziness that I get, but this feels like more like a pain. So this could be like stroke or brain aneurysm potentially. But I just want to share that information. I totally understand if you can't validate that right now. And if anything makes sense, like after the reading, or if you have the potential to reach out to somebody and they can validate it, you can let me know anytime. That's fine. Let me see if she can give me a little bit more evidence, and then we'll go straight into the message, and then you can give me some validations. Let me know what resonated with you. So she is now showing me the color purple. It's almost like a big sheet, like I can't like see through it, but it's like satiny. And this makes me feel like that she possibly had a spiritual side too. But since this cloth that she's showing me is like so dark, I feel like this is something that she wasn't very open about or didn't show a lot, or maybe there's the potential of like having these experiences but not sharing them. but I do feel like she is a big part of your spiritual journey. I feel like what she's saying is like when it comes to, and I feel like this is kind of leaning into the message, but when it comes to developing like, your spiritual gifts, your spiritual abilities and stuff like that, I feel like she's almost like, you can like lean on me, you can rely on me too, to assist you. So I feel like this is like ancestral assistance when it comes to navigating your spiritual path, that there's that like divine knowledge that she's holding. And I feel like she wants to she's basically like reaching her hand out, like saying, like, let me take you by the hand and like, show you through this. She also brings my attention to the overwhelm.
This is something Spirit have said to me really clearly lately, that I'm very controlling and it blocks Spirit a lot, but I'm in a situation where I know I am not in a good position to make decisions without their assistance, and they really want me to hand a big decision over to them, and they're really pointing out to the fact that I could kind of effectively harm myself if I try to take on something that's too big for me, basically. And they're just like, we can do this. We have the expertise more than you do. It's to do with where we move to. Basically, I can't do this. It's too complicated to decide where to move to. But they know, because they know all the implications, you see. So I've got to be open to where they suggest we could, if I can try and get it intuitively, where they possibly think we can move to, because I can't work it out. It's too complicated.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a layer here, is to, that surrender, that release of control, because I feel like us as humans, we always want to control the aspects in our life. And when we feel like we have that loss of control, of course, that's when things start to feel overwhelming. We start to feel trapped almost. But what they're making me feel like this is like definitely just like, it's like you have options, but I feel like you're mentally blocked here. But reaching out to your guides, reaching out to your ancestors and saying, like, hey, like, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm surrendering it to you, and like allow that information to like either flow through to me. For some reason, even when I look back here to what I was doodling on, I look back at the book and this is making me go pointing towards like journaling. So potentially that could be something that could really help you. So it's like, say we have like an issue or a problem or a concern that we're trying to solve. And if you get into like that meditative state, you get receptive. Go ahead and ask spirits, like, I need help with this. Can you guide me with this? And then just start writing. I just call it a brain dump, or like, of course, people call it automatic writing, whatever works for you, or stream of consciousness. But just go ahead and start writing down everything that's coming to mind, without analyzing or trying to interpret what you're writing down. Because within that, and it might take a couple of times, but within that, you'll start to get like more clarity, more answers of like the direction that you're trying to go. But I feel like, asking your guides for help, um, your ancestors for help or assistance with this, I feel like they'll definitely give you that assistance. But I feel like it may come through the act of journaling. They're almost showing me like another person. So this, when it comes to you figuring things out, they're showing like another person. So even with the journaling, I feel like either it could be validated, or it's another source to understand which direction you're supposed to take through like a third party or another person. I feel like this person, I want to say I'm getting like a male presence for some reason that'll be able to provide validation or guidance here. And I feel like this individual will be on the younger side, possibly like in their 30s, I feel. Would you understand an individual that you're close with, male in their 30s, and not past, but like still here physically?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, that's okay. This could also be someone who would end up like kind of entering into your orbit. It might not even be a person that like you actually have like a mutual relationship with. Like this might be someone who just kind of like, there's this saying that they say like people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So possibly this person coming in that I'm sensing, is someone who's just coming here for a reason, and that reason could be to give you the clarity that you need. So if you're not recognizing it, I feel like this could be picking up on something that's going to happen in the future. Um, but yeah, keep a lookout onto that, and then also with the journaling and writing things down, that stream of consciousness or automatic writing, I would definitely recommend that when it comes to getting like solution oriented guidance. Let me see if your grandmother has any more messages for you, and then you can go ahead and give me some validations. So it's really the phrase that's coming through is not to be so hard on yourself. So I feel like this is besides the overwhelm that you're feeling with like the job and making the decisions that you need to make. There's this aspect of you that I feel like Spirit's trying to point out of like you just being like overly harsh with yourself and like not giving yourself grace, I guess, when you should. So what I feel like the grandmother figure in Spirit is coming here to say is to go more. I feel like this is more like divine feminine energy that's coming through for her advice to the message that she has, but it's more about like, taking care of yourself, have taking time out for yourself and actually nurturing yourself, like mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And grounding is also being very huge. So it's like, I know that you said earlier that you went out to a park a couple days ago. I feel like that's really helpful. So whenever you're like getting that sense of overwhelm or you're feeling down, is to get outside when you can, ground that energy. But also like take some time out for yourself and nurture yourself and like give yourself grace. I'm getting the sense of gratitude as well, of like practicing gratitude, saying like even the littlest things that you're like grateful for to boost um, that higher vibrational energy. I also feel like when you start practicing things like that, like more grounding and more like self-care, self-love, that's actually going to kind of open other doors and like expand you a little bit from a spiritual sense. But I feel like this can also kind of overflow into synchronicities and things that you're having in your own life, your physical 3D world. That again, I feel like this is going to lead you to opportunities, solutions. They're also giving me like a little light bulb too. So I feel like this is like fresh ideas also coming in as well for you. Just regarding your situation, ideas of how to take care of anything. Again, like I really do feel like there's going to be like a third party, another person that's going to be able to give you validation or point you in the right direction here. And also like don't be afraid to reach out too. Like um not just to spirit, but also to like other like friends or coworkers or other people, um the sense of like finding your voice and speaking up when needed, like not to be passive.
Yeah, they've been going
Yeah,
on at me
there's
about that a lot lately because I really don't tell people when I'm in trouble, or if I do and they don't listen, I get a shut down very quickly instead of keeping on saying, no, you don't understand. This is serious. You're not getting what I'm saying. I just let people say, oh, you just need to cheer up a bit or whatever. When I'm like, no, I can't afford my rent or whatever it is. It's a real concrete problem. Like I give up too easily in making sure that people know that I need help. So they've been pointing that out a lot lately.
yeah, I feel like that's definitely a big thing, the throat area and speaking up and being a little bit more I don't want to say it in a bad way, but being a little bit more demanding. I feel like it's a big thing that's coming up here, but not in a more stern way, in a more of a way of like standing up for yourself, doing what's right. um And yeah, I feel like that's the message that she really wanted to bring forward, was that the
Yeah, I got
speaking
that really
up, the
a lot this
self-care.
season. They're comparing
Yeah.
me with a friend of mine who's well, it's a bit drastic, but she's involved in a lot of court proceedings. She's gone to the police about her ex-partner, and she's really putting up a fight with her ex-partner,
Oh
big time.
yeah.
She's being quite ferocious about it. She needs to be, but she is, and well done her, because not everybody would be. But they keep comparing me to her, and I'm like, what do you mean comparing me to her? But I think what they're saying is you have to fight for yourself. You have to not be in her situation. Fortunately, I don't have an ex-partner to fight with, but or anything that serious going on really. But she's really, really fighting for what she needs, and
Mhm.
sort of given up a bit lately. I just feel quite defeated by things. So they've been saying that I need to be like that. So
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree with that. Definitely. So yeah, go ahead. You can let me know what information were you able to validate?
no, most of it really. Yeah.
Awesome.
Uh, I think you're quite cautious about what you say. You try to sort of check it with inside yourself before you say it, and
I do, yeah.
and
I'm
and
working on that.
you stick to things that are fairly broad. Like some mediums, I've had some mediums who they'll be like, I've a couple of times I've been looking at a hat property. I've moved a lot. I've been looking at a property on Rightmove, and they'll actually describe it to me, and they get
Yeah.
most of it. You know, they don't get all of it, so they get a lot of really interesting detail, and they make a few mistakes as well because it's difficult to get that level of detail from spirit. You know,
Mhm.
but you seem to be quite careful. You don't want to say anything, I think, that might not be accurate, and so you kind of checking it and sticking to sort of general themes. But I mean, yeah, my Scottish grandfather has 4 sons, and he often comes through, and I think that might have been him who you're talking to. But my grandma, yeah, she was always in a pinny. She was always in the kitchen, and she often comes through as a loving presence. And I liked the fish and the bird because they're really recent in the past few days or a few hours. And I also like the way you say things that are both literal things and also metaphorical things. So like you were talking about tangles. Were you saying tangles
Mhm.
in my hair?
Yeah, like combing through the knots
Yeah.
and
Okay. So, but
yeah.
yes, everything feels very tangled up at the moment. But also, I do have a persistent problem with tangles in my hair from my daughter doing tiny little plaits in my hair, and I forget they're there, and I try to brush my hair, and it just turns into a big knot, or I wash my hair without brushing them out. So I have
Oh
constantly
no.
tiny tangles in my hair, which kind of slow me down and make me look scruffy. Um, but yes, also that's a good analogy. But I like that because it's your physical details are really accurate. The blue tit, the fish. It was literally I was having dinner with IKEA a couple of hours ago with my daughter, and I was staring at the play area floor with 2 fishes swimming around each other, and they were pointing the fish out to me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, um, so yeah, you're very accurate.
Every 5 readings, I step back and look at the bigger picture. What changed, what improved, and where I'm still growing. Right now, you just watch the process behind the scenes. And if you're interested in seeing how this develops over time, be sure to subscribe.